Welcome to the Higher Arabia podcast, powered by Matchmaker Number One. I'm Inez Mokrani, recruiter, coach, and connector of talent across Europe and the Middle East. In this podcast, we explore the challenges, opportunities, and success stories of hiring in one of the world's most dynamic regions. Let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the complex world of leadership transitions when moving from Europe to the Middle East. Imagine stepping into a new culture with years of experience on your resume, only to find out that experience alone doesn't cut it.
Right. It's like having all the pieces in place, but the puzzle just doesn't fit because of those unseen cultural nuances, isn't it?
Exactly. Many executives assume that leadership is universal. They think that performance, clarity, and fast decision-making will automatically earn trust.
Yeah.
But what really happens in the first 12 months is a rude awakening. Titles lose their shine and real influence is built on relationships.
So you mean that the track record that worked flawlessly back in Europe doesn't automatically translate into influence in the Middle East?
Precisely. Take, for instance, a senior European executive we'll refer to as Alex. Alex believed that if something didn't work, he could fix it fast with optimizations, restructured processes, the usual playbook.
Yeah, I get it.
But he quickly discovered that his resume mattered very little in those critical early days. People were polite, supportive even, but distant. There was no trust yet.
That's interesting. It's like having permission to enter a room, but nobody's really letting you in.
Exactly. And Alex soon realized that he had what you might call authority, but not actual influence. He was, performing before truly belonging. It's almost like jumping into a race without knowing the track.
So what was his biggest misstep during those early months?
He pushed for impact too early. Alex tried to produce quick results, thinking that rapid performance would build his credibility. But without understanding the informal dynamics, the real relationships and the local power structures, his rapid-fire decisions created resistance.
That sounds like trying to force a solution before truly understanding the problem at hand. Kind of like trying to fix a car engine without reading the manual first, correct?
Exactly. It's that sense of being too hasty. Instead of taking the time to listen and observe, he jumped straight into action. And in the Middle East, where trust is built gradually, acting too fast without inviting input can really backfire.
Right. It's almost as if you need to get the local secret handshake before you start making big moves.
Yes, precisely. And a pivotal moment for Alex was when a local colleague told him, "They respect you, but they don't know you yet."
Wow, that's a tough
pill to
swallow.
That line changed everything for him.
I can imagine that making you step back and reassess, prioritize listening and building bonds instead of just executing decisions.
Absolutely. What Alex learned from that experience boiled down to 3 key principles. First, observe before you optimize. Sometimes what seems inefficient has a purpose you might not yet understand. Second, build relationships without an immediate agenda. And third, recognize that power isn't just about the official title on your business card. Influence exists outside the formal organization chart.
Those are really powerful takeaways. But I wonder, doesn't this approach risk delaying concrete results? Isn't there still pressure to perform quickly in fast-paced markets?
That's a fair question. And sure, there's always some pressure to show results. But the lesson here is that performance without trust may lead to long-term setbacks. It's like trying to win a race by sprinting wildly out of the gate when you should be pacing yourself to actually finish strong.
Exactly. So, in other words, proving yourself shouldn't be about immediate change, but about slowly earning credibility through relationship building.
Yes, that's the critical pivot. Instead of trying to fix everything quickly, you need to listen, be receptive, and understand who really holds influence in the local context. That might take time, but it lays a solid foundation for effective leadership later on.
Do you think this approach challenges the more aggressive, results-driven strategies many executives are used to?
Completely. It respectfully challenges that notion. While being decisive is important, Alex's experience shows that especially in a Middle Eastern context, speed without cultural sensitivity can be seen as reckless. It's a gentle reminder that the soft skills, relationship building, and patience are as crucial as the hard skills you bring to the table.
Yeah. And it's interesting because in Europe, speed is basically synonymous with competence. But here it seems that being too fast without building trust is actually a risk factor.
Absolutely. Alex's story is a case in point. In the Middle East, you need to prioritize establishing trust and understanding the subtle power dynamics long before you undertake major organizational changes.
Exactly. So, what advice would you give to any European executive preparing to make a similar move?
The most crucial piece of advice is to stop trying to prove yourself constantly. Your past achievements already got you the job. Now it's about letting people come to know you and allowing the ties to build naturally. In those early 12 months, rather than optimizing structures immediately, take the time to listen, learn, and build those relationships.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that sounds like a departure from traditional Western best practices, which often emphasize immediate action and change.
Exactly. It's about timing and cultural intelligence. While Western methods might focus on rapid results, here you learn that impact comes when conversations and trust set in. It's like trying to force instant success instead of nurturing gradual, sustainable growth.
But let me be a bit of a devil's advocate. Couldn't there be a risk that this slower approach might lead to complacency or missed opportunities?
That's a valid concern. However, the idea isn't to be passive. It's about being strategic. Think of it as building a strong foundation. Without that, any rapid changes might collapse later on. By investing time in understanding local dynamics, you ultimately create a more resilient leadership structure.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's fascinating how something as seemingly simple as the order of priorities can have such a profound impact on your success.
Definitely. In the end, it's not just about proving your capability, but adapting your style to meet the cultural context. Doing so transforms your leadership from purely authoritative to truly influential and human.
So, to everyone listening, take note. The first year in a new cultural setting is not about a swift takeover, but about fostering mutual understanding.
Exactly. Remember, the secret is in building relationships, understanding power dynamics, and letting your actions speak over time rather than immediately proving yourself with quick wins.
Right. It really sounds like the lesson is universal, even if the execution is different depending on where you are.
Yes, while the fundamentals of leadership might be universal, the practice is deeply influenced by local cultural nuances. And adjusting your approach, slow and steady in this case, can make all the difference in successfully blending into and leading within a new environment.
That's such a resonant message. It's a reminder that we must always be ready to adapt and evolve as leaders, tailoring our methods to the cultural context and not just relying on what worked before.
Exactly. Embrace the challenge, listen more, and let the organization come to know you organically. Your early decisions will inevitably shape your long-term success in ways that a title or track record simply cannot.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking all that down. It's a truly honest and, dare I say, uncomfortable look at the realities of international leadership that everyone should consider before making such a leap.
Absolutely. The journey might be rocky initially, but if you can navigate that critical first year with patience and genuine curiosity about the local context, you're far more likely to succeed in the long run.
Perfectly put. Here's to adapting our leadership style and to a future where influence is earned through understanding as much as achievement.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, keep challenging the status quo and remember that your first steps in a new culture can redefine your entire leadership journey. Thank you for tuning in to the Higher Arabia podcast, brought to you by Matchmaker Number One. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, share, and leave us a review. It helps us connect even more talented individuals with opportunities. See you next time. Until then, keep building bridges between cultures and careers.